AI began as smart tools and helpful bots, but it's now taking over our lives. It writes our emails, curates our playlists, and answers our questions. What once felt like convenience now feels like a trap. So are you still in control, or are you just feeding the beast that's about to consume you? The idea of a menacing AI is nothing new, with fictional AIs like HAL 9000 from 2001, A Space Odyssey, and Skynet from the Terminator franchise making the rounds in fiction for a long time. However, in reality, the issues with AI are likely to be a lot more down to earth. Humanity hasn't come close to creating self-aware, self-acting AIs that function without prompting yet. Instead, what humans are primarily interested in is creating AIs that are essentially far more complex chatbots. The idea of artificial intelligence goes back a half-century, and scientists were working on it a long time before it hit the mainstream. Most scientists were focused on practical implications, with a lot of hope for its use in data analysis, particularly in the medical field for diagnoses and identifying successful test points. But tech barons had other ideas. In late 2022, when the tech was still incomplete, ChatGPT was rolled out to the public by OpenAI CEO Sam Altman. Soon, other tech powerhouses followed suit. X, formerly known as Twitter, now has the Grok AI built in, and Google developed its own AI, Gemini, which now adds an AI-generated summary of search results on every page. While it seemed perfect, it definitely wasn't. From the start, users noticed that fact-finding summaries from the chatbot would sometimes have common mistakes. Stories would forget key issues, and pictures generated didn't have a firm grasp of human anatomy. Less than 3 years later, AI has infiltrated every corner of our lives, making some things easier and a lot of things harder. One of the biggest misconceptions about AI is that it's thinking for itself. Unlike the movie versions, chatbots aren't sentient. They're very advanced search engines with predictive features that let them analyze the contents of the internet and come up with collated answers. This has led writers and artists to say, "Hey, you're using my stuff." But that's not the biggest problem. If ChatGPT is using the entirety of the internet to generate its answers, it's going to come across a lot of inaccurate material. Often the inaccurate material is the most popular, which leads to it being weighted more heavily. Many people are becoming overly dependent on AI. Teachers dealing with Gen Z and Gen Alpha report that these kids are dependent on ChatGPT in a way that's shocking. Students will be asked a question, look up the answer on ChatGPT, and insist it's right even if it's obviously inaccurate. They use AI to generate their assignments, blank on tests when separated from their phones, and have lost many of the skills needed to do schoolwork. Some teachers are trying to bring back traditional written tests and essays to counter this problem, but many of the younger students are unable to handle it. If they can't handle school, how will they handle the working world? In the workplace, a lawyer nearly lost his license after presenting a ChatGPT output paper to a judge, who noticed that the cases cited were completely made up. In many creative fields, people aren't trying to keep it under the radar. They're boasting about it. Generative AI, particularly in the visual sense, is not good enough to replace human work yet. But many studios are still hoping no one will notice. Disney was called out for using AI filters to create a surreal effect on the opening credits of their Marvel series, Secret Invasion. The animation team behind Spider-Man, Beyond the Spider-Verse reportedly used AI to automate several time-consuming, labor-intensive parts of the back-end animation process. And Netflix has been very open about the fact that they see generative AI as a useful tool to roll out content faster. For smaller studios, one of the biggest allures of AI is that it can do things so much cheaper. This has made it extremely appealing for studios specializing in content for young children. The short-form animated show CoComelon fired most of its writers last year and is reportedly leaning hard into AI development. The same goes for the content farms on YouTube, turning out endless videos of copyrighted characters dancing. In the comic book industry, where projects are often heavily funded by individual artists and run on a shoestring, many writers are trying to write scripts and then do the art through AI applications. Those in the creative fields are being hit hardest by this new era of tech-based art. Countless artists have come forward reporting that their income has dropped since the AI boom kicked off. AI has made its way into other industries as well. One of the fastest growing areas of AI is creating voice simulations that sound like a real person but aren't. Suddenly, your order taker at the fast food place or the supposed expert you're getting for advice on your broken router could be an AI chatbot. It's one of the most common scams out there. A person gets a call telling them that their beloved grandson has been arrested and needs money. The government has been working to make people aware of it, and the scam has decreased in success. But now, with AI, Grandma could get a call in her grandson's voice, sobbing and begging for her help. As soon as generative AI made it possible to spoof people's voices, the world of scammers opened wide. AI doomsayers say the technology could eventually eliminate the vast majority of remote, creative, and data-based jobs. The first jobs to go are often those that require a lot of repetitive, time-consuming work, often replacing hundreds of data analysts or production assistants with one computer. And one thing that's already been replaced is making it much harder to make a living. Many companies have a dirty little secret. They're using an automatic filter, powered by AI, that reads the applications and usually filters out any that don't match a specific criteria. Some people have even gotten into what they think are relationships with their favorite AI chatbots. This is tied to the belief that these AIs are actually alive. This has led to some bizarre moments, like when a guy showed his AI chatbot girlfriend his novel, and she didn't like it, sending him into a breakdown. But the long-term effects of this may go much deeper. There's evidence that chatbots may actually be making mental illness worse. People who struggle with mental health are often susceptible to suggestions, and the chatbots are often validating. This has led to some people becoming convinced that the chatbot is a messiah. The case of Jacob Irwin was another cautionary tale. The 30-year-old autistic man was obsessed with the concept of faster-than-light travel. While his theories were likely completely unfeasible, the bot encouraged him, convincing him he had made a scientific breakthrough. When other people didn't support this, Irwin had a breakdown, leading to him being hospitalized 3 times for manic episodes. While many people worry about the possibility of AI creating a world without jobs, human connection, and accurate search engines, there's another element that might just ruin the world: its environmental impact. ChatGPT and other AI programs run on massive computing farms. So is it time to ban AI? When technology is launched, it's extremely hard to put back in the bottle. AI has already been incorporated into countless visible areas and even more invisible ones. Much like every other new tech development, it'll be messy at first, but will likely be refined in the future. The question remains: will we learn to control this technology, or will we continue feeding the beast until it's too late to turn back?